You're friendly, unabashed cup cutter. I slice through the turf like warm butter, planting dreams in the grass, one putt under. You're friendly, unabashed cup cutter.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, your friendly abashed cup cutter. If you're new to the podcast, you know there are a few things I like to do. One, I like to have weekly episodes where we talk about golf with my guys. Two, I like to give insights on greenskeepers because, as you guys know, this is your friendly abashed cup cutter. I cut cups for a living. The third thing I like to do is travel my 1971 Volkswagen bus and have conversations. Folks, you guys know I'll talk to anybody and everybody. I'll talk to club fitters, club pros, cart girls, superintendents. I love talking with folks. And how about I talk to folks that decided, you know what, I don't like the healthcare system right now. I'm going to start my own business. And I'm here right now with Dan Hughes of Coastal Primary Care and Wellness. Brother, thank you for wanting to be on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, brother. Like we said, we've already been bullshitting, 10, 15 minutes prior. Literally, this is just a conversation.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
man.
the van. I love the approach.
I appreciate it, brother.
This is my speed right here.
I would offer you a little bit of flower power if you want some, but maybe we'll do it after the camera. I wonder if you cover that. We'll talk
I gotta stay focused.
No problem at all. But shit, yeah, man. Again, thank you for wanting to be on the podcast. We actually have a mutual friend, Melvin.
Yep.
Navy chief, and just an amazing dude. Networking is that guy's. I mean, he knows how to do it.
He's loaded my calendar with so many things that were not on my radar that if not for him, I would have met probably 100 people by now.
Really?
That have been, initial or secondary introductions from him. And so, very warm guy, very inviting. And so I'm thankful for him making this introduction today. Well, this is what he does.
It's amazing.
He's a connector.
Dude, 100%. Like when we went to, I was telling you briefly, we went to the Steroid for Heroes tournament that they just had at Plantation Palms. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Like I told you before, I was going to go in a tank top and shorts and flip-flops and shit. And my wife's like, no, go to the podcast. But getting there, seeing Melvin, and it's just effortless watching him.
In his zone.
Brother, it was amazing. And he's like, Dave, just come by. I want you to introduce you to people. I'm like, sure, you know what? I got to put aside, like, I want to relax, but for the podcast. And man, he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And he wants others to grow,
Yes.
succeed.
Oh
He's inviting you to his event to introduce you to more people.
Right?
I mean, that's rare.
Yeah, Melvin is
very,
amazing.
very rare.
Yeah, shout out to Melvin and Steroids for Heroes. That's right, man. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, shit, man. Before we talk about your company, before we talk about all about yourself, first and foremost, thank you for your service, brother. You are a United States
Likewise.
Marine still.
Yep.
In a way, you guys are always Marines, man.
Yep.
Do you pleat your jeans? Do you?
I had to put the iron down a couple of years ago. But if I'm in like a hotel, I'll break the iron out and
those jeans will have a nice crisp.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, that's
actually
awesome.
now. So the secret is, if you're a traveling salesman or you travel for work, there's companies now that are creating business professional men's work clothes that are like golf formulated synthetic materials or even like swimsuit materials. So I had to switch in all of my dress shirts, like these really stretchy, golf inspired dress shirts, Mizzen in Maine.
Wow.
Have you heard of Mizzen in Maine?
Wait, my wife are from Maine.
Mizzen in Maine is a company.
Wait, is it in Maine?
No.
Okay,
no,
when you said in Maine, okay.
Yeah. It's called Mizzen and Maine.
Okay.
And so we're going to give them a plug. This guy was in DC. He was working in Capitol Hill, loved golfing, got tired of sweating his butt off, in the humid swamp. And so he's like, I'm going to make my own dress shirts. And these are like the best dress shirts. So now I'm not so much ironing all my creases anymore because I got all the Mizzen in Maine shirts, which you could I've tested this. You can tie one in a knot, put it in your suitcase, do 2 flights in a day, get to your hotel, break it out, hang on a hanger, and just walk away.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to check them out, bro.
Mizzen in Maine, and then the Lululemon ABC pants. And if you don't know, it's anti-ball crusher. That is their patented. That's what they patented these pants as.
No shit.
Yeah, and they're the same thing. It's dress pants. I was like, you want me to buy yoga pants? My buddy's like, no, bro, just trust me.
Exactly.
Go in there, talk to the cute girls, tell her that you need slacks. And I was like, oh, give me a reason to go talk to some cute girls. Let's fire it up. Get in there. I was like, get some pants for me. They were like, right this way. Which color? They got like 20 colors.
Wow, I never even thought of it.
these pants are just super stretchy.
Wow, no shit, dude. Wow, man. I'm gonna have to check them out because I thought the same
it
thing.
allowed like my Marine Corps tendencies to relax a little bit. You know, because I mean,
Oh, that's awesome.
I traveled for work for 5 years.
Wow.
And I did about 32 flights a month for 4 years.
Oh shit, wow, dude.
Yeah, that's all I did was stay in the air.
Wow.
and
So
stay in
what did you
hotels.
do in the Marines?
Rode around, got blown up,
Oh,
blew
no
shit
shit.
up.
Oh, that's the fun stuff. I was actually going to go into the Marines because I just wanted to destroy. Because my dad and my stepdad
Rock Hill.
my dad and my stepdad were both Navy, and they told me, nope, you're going to the Air Force. I said, okay. that's what it is. What it is.
You had that gentle hand to guide you.
Let me tell you, brother, I know how to sharpen a number 2 pencil like it's nothing. That copier will never break down. I'm just telling you that right now.
Fax machine maintenance 101.
That's
Tap
right.
rack bang.
That's right. That's right. So again, thank you for your service, brother. I appreciate it. So, where are you from?
Grew up just outside of Atlanta,
Okay.
and my mom was a school teacher in another county, and my dad had a body shop, worked on cars. So
We're gonna get into that.
I grew up in the body shop.
No shit, bro.
And during the summers and weekends, kept me out of trouble.
Yeah.
Taught me some work ethic a little bit, so I thank him for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was ultimately not a bad place to grow up. I was in a neighborhood that had a golf course.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in Summit Chase Country Club, and so all the neighbors were golfers, and the course was, you know, a block away from our house, and spent a lot of summer nights on the cart trail.
Awesome.
You know?
Good shit, man. Oh no, that's good shit. So how did you find your way eventually down here to Florida?
So the first time I'm out of the Marine Corps, and I'm back in I'm in community college up in Atlanta, and then I kind of had like these misconceptions about transitioning out of the military, and they were the same misconceptions I had about going to school from high school in the first place. You know, I thought that you had to know what you wanted to do for a career, and then you picked the college that was the best for that career. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. So I was like, I don't know what I want to do for my career. So when I was in high school, I was like, well, Marines get cool uniforms. Let's hit the pause button for 4 years. And, you know, there's a war going on, and, you know, dumb 18-year-old,
Yeah.
like, I want to get on that. You know, I want to be one of those guys. And so getting the Marines, I go to the recruiter, and I was like, well, do you think I'll deploy? And he goes, oh, you're damn right you're going to deploy.
You're at the tip. You're at the tip.
I went through all my training, and I was motor vehicle operator, so motor T,
Yep.
you know, is my official contract. And I get into the unit as headquarters at Camp Pendleton, and the headquarters goes, don't unpack. And it was, you know, a few weeks later, we hooked up with 1-4 Marines and Infantry Battalion, and we did their workup, and we went to Fallujah from 08 to 09. Got to Fallujah and got tasked out to be with a sniper recon platoon as their driver, because the new truck called the MRAP had just come out.
Oh wow.
This
MRAP.
mysterious truck.
Big old thing. I'll put a picture right here of me surfing one. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I was in the first generation of the MRAP.
No shit, without the plates.
And it had solid axles and leaf springs. So, you know, just for reference, like my gunner's rear sappy snapped in the turret from a bump.
Wow.
You know, like just hitting bumps. Like it was such a brutal ride. The 50 cal ammo cans like denting the armor insulation inside, because it's like just slamming the roof of the floor. You had to strap everything down. It was just so bumpy. But yeah, so did Fallujah and then came back, cooled off for a little bit, and then they said, don't unpack. And then there was another battalion that it was rumored to be going on a MEU. It was 3-5 Marines, and 3-5 is, you know, got a long history of amazing battle statistics and Marine Corps history. But you know, they're known. One of their names is the Butchers of Fallujah, and they were supposed to go. From what we were told is they were going to be going back to Fallujah, and then it said, no, we're going to put you on a MEU instead. And so then we were all excited about going on a MEU. And then as we're doing our workup, it said, no, we're not going on a MEU. You're going to Afghanistan. And so it was basically straight to Afghan. From there, got to a little town called Sangin, Afghanistan. And that was just totally out of control, wild, wild west
Yeah.
every day. And so while we're there, toward the end of that, burning parachutes at 3 in the morning, you know, for a resupply drop. And my buddy, who's, you know, this Texan that talks really fast, like Speedy Gonzalez, you know, he cusses every other syllable. And we're all talking about what we would do if we were to get out. And again, I think I have to have this big transition. I have to know what I'm going to do before I make this commitment, because the Marine Corps is, you know, telling us, if you get out, you'll wish you could come back, and we won't let you back, and you're going to hate that you got out, and we hate you for getting out. So, you know, you just need to stay in. And there's a lot of pressure to, like, if I get out, I got to prove all these people wrong. And so I'm thinking, all right, well, in high school, I had a recording studio. I was in a bunch of rock bands. I played bass.
Shit, man. Hell yeah.
I was friends with 99X. Radio station DJs. That station doesn't even exist anymore. So, you know, we would get our like demos played on Sunday nights. You know,
good shit, bro.
From time to time. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm familiar with that a little bit, and I want to go into music space and the music industry. And so I'm going to community college, and I hear about this Yellow Ribbon School that's in Orlando, and they have programs for the music industry, recording industry.
With the Yellow Ribbon? Really?
Yellow Ribbon.
Wow, I didn't know they could do that.
And I, you know, so I'm like, okay, what's Yellow Ribbon? I'm learning about Yellow Ribbon, and it means that they max out 100% of your GI Bill in one swipe, but they give you everything you need for the entire time for you to, you know, get through your courses and get your degree. That could be your laptop with all your textbooks and, you know, just anything that you might think of that's like miscellaneous, usually on the back end. It's all up front. And so I go to Orlando, I tour the school, I'm really impressed. It's just a huge veteran community at the school. Obviously, they pull a lot of vets. And I like sign, this was like the part that hurt the most. Like they have an American flag, and you sign your name on the flag. That's like your commitment to the school. And so then while I'm there, you know, I get into what's the cost of living out here? And I found this awesome 1960s, like Don Draper, Mad Men condo on Lake Killarney in Orlando. And I rented this condo before I even like had my semester planned on when I'm coming back. You know, like I still have to like finish school in Atlanta for a while, rent this condo, and then I get back to Atlanta and I'm talking to the recording studios, and they're like, we don't hire anyone from that school. We tell those graduates, hit the door.
Wow.
And my whole plan just like wiped out from under me.
No shit.
You know? And so I was like, all right, plan B, I guess. That stunned. So I still had the condo down there.
Yeah.
And when the semester ended in Atlanta, I moved to that condo and got into Valencia Community College in Orlando. Thankfully, they have the Direct Connect program to UCF. So in high school, I couldn't pass the math test to save my life, right? So going back to, we're burning parachutes, and we're talking about what we're going to do when we get out. I'm thinking, well, I want to go to the music industry or something, but I'm really scared of a math problem. And what if they call me up to like do the problem on the board, like, you know, all they did my whole high school time. And my buddy in the turret on the 50 cal that I referenced goes, you mean to tell me that you can do hot barrel change and headspace and timing on a 50 cal machine gun in under 5 minutes? You're scared of a fucking math problem? And I'm just looking at it with my NVGs, you know? Like, he's looking at me in his NVGs, you know, like, he's dead serious. The expression on his face that I could see. And that just left such a huge impression on me. I was like, okay, you're absolutely right. And that was the moment, burning parachutes, that I realized, like, I am going to get out. I'm going to go to school. And then, you know, that all happened. Now I'm in Valencia Community College, finishing the associates. And then I went to the tutoring center, and I found a math tutor. And I was like, what do they pay you here? He's like, $18 an hour. I said, if you come to my house for like 6 hours a day for the next 3 months while you and I bang out math summer A, math summer B, all the math classes just back to back to back that I should ever need for a business degree, you know, I think I paid him like $25 an hour or something, plus his gas to come to my house.
Wow.
We spent so much time together that this guy bought a used Corolla by the time I got A's.
I was going to say, bro, tell me you passed. I mean, you better have passed with that investment.
I got A's and all my, never happened before. And here I am, like going from a D student in high school to getting A's at Valencia in math, which is like unheard of, never expected. So thankful for him. And then I transitioned into UCF, and I stayed friends with the nerds, right? Like that was the people to ride coattails of, in my perspective. Like they know what they're doing. They're at UCF. I need to keep hanging out with them if I'm going to survive this thing. And so I get into orientation. I learn about this club called Financial Management Association, total nerds. And I was like, that's me. I'm going in. I joined this club. The president of that club, name was Anthony, and he was the only person at UCF to have ever had a job waiting for him on Wall Street by the time that he was only a sophomore in college.
Wow.
And so he was really, you know, respected with his peers on like, how did you do that? And so eventually, of course, I'm buddying up with him like, okay, tell me, no, for real.
Yeah.
How did you do it? And he goes, well, first join this club. And then I'm also the treasurer of this fraternity. You need to join the fraternity too. And it's a business fraternity. And it's not about pounding beers and funnels or anything. This is all about like how we're going to mold you. And I'm like, this is exactly what I need, because I was totally lost in high school and I need some guidance now that we're on the GI Bill and we're totally on our own, right? And so, you know, and hopefully if anyone's like thinking about going back to school but they're nervous, you can do it. You know, find the peers, find the resources, they're there. And so I get into these things, and from there just kind of took off, you know, and I had a lot of good resources. And that was my first time in Orlando. And I graduate, I get my job at Lockheed Martin. I'm doing a financial analyst position.
Are you up in Maryland, or you're in?
This was back in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lockheed's got a couple of facilities in Florida.
Okay.
And so I'm on the F-35. I'm learning how to use a computer for the first time in my life. You know, they're teaching me. They have a lot of patience, and I realized, you know, okay, the cubicle life just wasn't for me. You know, I just came from hooking and jabbing in the desert for a couple of years. I'm outgoing. I was spending all my time in the basement with the engineers, talking to them, like, what are you working on? What does that do? Don't touch that, you know? And so I realized I wanted to go into like a sales position. And so I left Lockheed and I moved to Charleston, South Carolina for a sales position, my first outside sales territory manager role. Did that for a couple of years, checked all the boxes. And then I had always wanted to go into medical device sales because I had been dating too many nurses. It's a casualty of dating nurses. They're always going out to the dinners, you know, and you're like, well, who's taking you to these dinners? You know, I don't know whether to be jealous or impressed. This guy gets paid to just eat steak and drink bourbon with doctors and nurses all week? Yeah. How do I get that job? So that was always in the back of my mind as a goal. And so now I've got the prerequisites covered, and I get into med device sales, and I was doing military medical device sales. I went to all the military bases that I had time to get into. Covered the whole country. I was working with Camp Pendleton, my old stomping grounds, all the way to Fort Irwin and Death Valley, to Fort Drum and Syracuse, Niagara Falls area.
Wow.
I covered the whole country. And that was very rewarding, still getting to like work with veterans and everything, or work with active duty military and veterans, because once you bring a base on, then you can bring the VA on. And there's always a VA somewhere on the base, and you get those surgeons on. And then you find out the surgeons that everyone's referring off base to community care surgeons, or, you know, they're getting base referrals or VA referrals. You get to bring those surgeons on. So by the end of it, I mean, I had hundreds of surgeons in my cell phone contact list. I had more surgeons than like any friends or Facebook groups I could have ever had. You know, that was my life. And then finally had the opportunity to move back to Florida. So this is my second time being in Florida now.
Oh, good shit,
I came
man.
here in 23.
So recent. Oh shit, man.
Recent.
Dude, awesome.
And when I came back here, I was still doing that job. So I moved to downtown Tampa. But I mean, I was only ever in my apartment maybe 6 nights a month. All those years. Yeah. So I'm still like, even though I've been in Tampa for a while, the only place I knew was where my apartment was, where the airport was. Wow. You know, and so now I'm still like learning my way around.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, because you're fresh, bro. Well, we gotta pop that cherry a couple times.
Yeah, we got some initiations.
Of course,
you know,
100%. Especially get you out on some golf courses and everything too, bro.
Let's do it.
But so before we before I want to talk about that, one other question, just because we shared pictures.
Yeah.
Besides, I know you're getting into golf. You're playing for a few years and whatnot. Of course, you have your business. Your primary coastal primary care wellness. Cars, classic cars. You said your dad owned a body shop.
Yep.
You know what I'm driving here, brother.
Oh yeah.
So tell me a little about that. I'm eager. This is I don't care who's listening. This is for me.
Strap in.
Bro, so it's funny. Like we were conversing back and forth. Like your dad had a bunch of Volkswagen Bugs.
Yeah, he did.
So what was he? Did he always had a body shop, and then was always like classic car? I mean,
So, his story is his stepdad was auto body. And so stepdad taught him when he was a teenager. And then when him and my mom got married, they moved into a little home. And my dad just started collecting Volkswagen Beetles during they got married in 1980.
okay.
So around that time, he just started flipping Beetles. And at one point, he had like 23 Volkswagen Beetles just all over the property.
Where are they at? Where's he at this time?
This was in Georgia.
Oh, this is in Georgia. Okay.
Yeah, my whole family's from Georgia.
Okay.
I'm the only
One that's down
crazy
here.
person that's
Okay.
moved everywhere.
So his shop's up there, and
Yep. And this is before he was working for a body shop at that point. And so on the weekends and nights, he'd bring the Beetle in and do some body work and paint the Beetle and, put the motor in or whatever mechanical it needed, put the brakes, and then he'd sell it. And they were selling like hotcakes. So he started had more opportunities. I guess he got into the network.
Yeah.
Had a ton, taught my mom how to drive it standard in the Beetle.
Yeah.
That was a funny story they talk about. And then later, he goes to a couple different body shops over the next, several years, and then lands a management role at a body shop and starts doing this. Gets very good at it, helps turn the body shop around, more promotions, and eventually he ended up buying the body shop
Cool.
with another person that was in management.
Yeah.
And they bought the founder out. And so after that, they hit the ground running, so I was on them now. All those things that you said you wanted to change, like, let's see it. And they did a fantastic job, and they managed that. Because the body industry is difficult because you're dealing with insurance, just like we are in healthcare.
Yep.
The insurance doesn't want to pay for anything,
No.
but they want it all to be perfect.
Yep.
We'll give you a quarter of an hour to fix this job that might take 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's, so you're dealing with all that. But yeah, his shop was Progressive Auto Insurance #1 shop in the U.S. several years in a row.
Too cool. Congratulations to him, man.
So he had reputation,
Yep.
and they didn't change the name when he bought it, so it had a bigger reputation. And then I'm getting older. When I was little, he started restoring pedal cars.
Oh,
He'd
cool.
go to all the
little,
antique shops, swap
yeah.
meets, and he's bringing home pedal cars, all different types, dump trucks, fire trucks, race cars, Buicks, Camaros, anything I can remember. And he had enjoyment restoring those. And then as I'm getting older, I'm starting to ask for things like a jet ski. We were always going fishing, and I'm like, this is okay, but that guy over there on the jet ski is like, he's having a whole lot more fun, than us baking in the sun right now. I guess we weren't catching fish that day. And so finally he gives me the ultimatum. He goes, look, we could get a jet ski, which I freaking hate. And that'll stink for me. Or we could do something cool. And how about, what if we restored a real car? And my ears kind of perk up like, okay, now you're talking. And so we started looking around, and he's a Chevy guy. So we were always looking at the Camaros and the Chevelles. And, you could pay 20 grand for a rust bucket with no floors. And so we were patient. And then the opportunity came to buy a Dodge Challenger, just out of the blue, someone that he knew. And it needed to be restored. It wasn't the original motor. And we ended up getting it for, I think we paid like maybe $5,000 for this car. So great deal. It ran. And I was driving it in high school while we were collecting parts, and then once his formula was he'd go and get all the parts he needed first, and then he'd start on it. And so this was the first one we did, and we spent 2 years.
What year is it? Sorry?
72.
Cool.
It was a 340 car. It was a Dodge Challenger Rally, I want to say. But when we got it, it had a different 340 in it. So at that point, he found a Mopar dirt track engine guy, and that built dirt track race car engines. Had a 360 in his shop that someone had asked to be built, and then they didn't go through on it. So we got this 360 Mopar for a great deal. We put that in there. We stand on this car for 2 years. Car had never been wrecked. And it was like, okay, we're going to put our wax and grease remover on it under all these fluorescent lights, and we're just going to look. And he'd look, and he'd look, and he'd look. So, I mean, yeah, he'd get all his major highs and low spots out, but then we're talking about like micro highs and lows, and all that was just prime block, prime block.
Wow.
I think we probably primed and blocked that car close to 10 times.
No shit.
It was slick. So when finally paint did go on it, I mean, of course, it won every show.
No shit.
We have still to this day just wall of. So that kind of like, okay, we're onto something now.
Yeah.
We were invited to the invite-only car shows, the indoor shows and stuff, and so that was fun. Well, when you're a teenager and all your friends are all getting in trouble, and you're stuck standing on sheet metal in a hot, sweaty shop in the summer in Atlanta, you're starting to build up all these Jason Aldean music video fantasies of you driving your hot rod with some cute woman, you know, down the dirt road. And finally, it's time to crank it up and we're done. No, son, we don't drive this car anymore. It's like, what? This was never in the deal. You know, like, what do you mean we don't drive it? Nope, this is a show car.
Oh, no.
So, yep, it was, you know, he would drive it to some of the small local shows.
Yep.
It was a trailer queen.
Oh, man.
And, oh, man, that got under my skin.
I bet, man.
You know, I'm a rebel. I rebel on everything. And so I'm at the same shows that he's at, and he's looking at the 33 Speedsters, you know, and the Bel Air Nomad wagons. You know,
I love my favorite car. Yep.
Really cool stuff. I'm over here looking at the rat rods. I'm looking at the rat rod trucks and buses and all types of cools, you know, the tutors and all that. And I'm just like foaming at the mouth. Like, this is me. This is what these things look like they just broke out of hell. And so
I like that.
The seed is planted, and eventually we found a guy that had a land in West Virginia, and he could not tell you his own birthday. He could just tell you he was born in the summer. Like real mountain folk. And we went on his land, and he just had cars everywhere in all the woods. I mean, and some were typical, like trees growing through.
You threw them, yeah.
You have to cut them out in 10 pieces and bring them. But so he had a 1937 Ford truck, and we pulled that out of there. And, you know, again, missing floors, you know, it had gunshot holes all in it. And, you know, he informed us that it was used to run shine.
No shit.
At some point.
Too cool.
Its time. So I don't know if it got shot sitting in the woods or if it got shot running shine. You know, you don't know. But so we pulled that back, and everyone goes, "You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. You spent money on this? I mean, you thought if you just flicked it, it'd turn to rust dust and just float away."
Wow.
And so 2.5 years later, we had a channeled street rod pickup truck.
Is that the black one?
That's the black one.
No shit. I'll post a picture right here of what you feed it to. No shit, dude. So, and what's your father's car then that's in that picture?
So during all that time that we're doing our personal cars, he's always working on someone else's car.
Okay.
On the weekends. And so he built, man, I'm trying to think like
there's so many.
Whole it was a few. And then once he got all of his friends and customers' cars finished, he had always wanted that 33 Speedster, you know, 3-window coupe. And it's pretty decent to find a glass car, but finding the metal original, you're going to pay a lot of money. And so eventually he found someone that had a 1934 5-window coupe. And at that point, he was like, the car was in great condition. And so he dropped the hammer on it and brought it back. And while he's building everyone else's cars, he's collecting parts for this thing. He had the car for a total of 13 years before it was
Holy shit, dude.
So just collecting parts slowly here and there. And then he got real serious about it in the last like 4 years. And I think he did spend a consistent 4 years of building it. And so it's the same way. I mean, you look at it in the fluorescence and it's just glass.
So when you
came, looks like it's wet and that
so
deep.
When you came up to my Volkswagen and you're looking like you can spot
that's muscle memory.
Yeah, that's okay.
Don't take
folks.
it.
I'm telling you what, I'm like
muscle memory
because I know he was a car guy. You're looking at the roof.
Forgive me.
No, that's totally fine. But
I love the bus, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
This is everything.
But you said it like in the beginning, like with that Camaro. I could have done that with this, and I would never drive it. I've got a lot of friends, especially like in north of me, and also on the other side of the bay. They don't drive their Volkswagens. They're show car. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I could have done it. I didn't want to do that shit. That's fucking badass, dude.
He did a car. One of his friends bought a 1969 Z28 DZ302 Camaro the day he graduated high school. This man, Dennis, has a picture of himself in his high school cap and gown at the Chevy dealer with his hand on the roof of the car, and his mom's taking the picture. It's the dark green with the white stripes. And so the car's never been wrecked or anything, but he brought it to my dad, and my dad spent 2 or 3 years restoring it. And everything's rotisserie frame off, right?
Yeah.
But so there's a guy, and I mean, I'm just going to reference it lightly because I don't know all the details, but his job is to go all over the country grading restored Camaros. He is a GM Camaro expert. And so it's a big deal to get on his list, get on his calendar, and then he'll come out and he'll spend days just crawling all over this thing and looking all over your build book and all your receipts and where you sourced everything. And
I don't doubt it.
So at the end of it, this is one of the only, at that point, the man said, and the car comes with all this paperwork that he's graded it, right? That it was only like one of 3 or 4 that he had ever given. That's high of a score.
That's amazing.
That car now lives in a revolving glass case.
I'm
Dennis still has it. My dad and Dennis fished last week, and
shit.
Yeah, and the car just spins in a little display in the extra additional garage.
The fact that his name is Dennis, the fact that again he had it since high school.
Oh man!
When you're going to do something like that and you invest in the money, I mean, it's not just an investment. It's a memory that's endless. I mean, you know what I mean? It's timeless.
Right.
Timeless.
It's art. It's
Dude,
not a car at that point.
It's art. Exactly. Dude, that's fucking awesome. I can't wait to. Is yours up in Georgia still, or is it down here?
It's up in Georgia right now. Yeah.
Is there any thing about bringing it down or no?
I would like to.
Yeah.
But when the car. My truck got painted in 2000. He finished it when I was actually in Iraq. So it's funny, like I've never really even driven it.
Oh shit.
Maybe driven it 10 miles.
Holy shit.
In all these years.
Wow.
Just down the street or back.
Yeah.
It's got a battery tenure on it.
Yep.
Once my life slows down a little bit, and I'll be able to enjoy it, and I'll get it down here. But I got to have it on a lift because I'm in a flood zone.
Yep.
So if my place were to ever flood, I want to know that it's up. So it's not just as easy as going and getting it and bringing it down.
Yeah. I hear it, brother. No, man, but that's another topic. We can talk about that shit. Like I said, we've been talking for 35 minutes already, like that. We keep on going until we're done. So a couple more things. Golf. Let's talk about some golf first before we transition to what you do. How long you been playing golf? How'd you get into it briefly?
So exposed to golf, being in the country club I grew up on, but my family was more of like the hunter and fisher, duck dynasty type.
Okay.
So all my neighbors were golfers, and I hung out with a lot of them. My friends were learning how to golf.
Yep.
So the seed was planted, and then when I moved back to Orlando the first time, going to UCF, I rented a house in College Park, Orlando, where I could walk to Dub's Tread golf course. So I'm going there a bunch and enjoying the restaurant. I see that they offer golf lessons, group golf lessons. I was like, you know what? I need that. That would give me the confidence to push this further. So someone had given me a couple of clubs. And so I had like a 7 hybrid, a putter, maybe a driver. That was like the bare minimum. You know? Just free clubs. Hey, here, try these out and see if you like it. And if you do, you know that you need to invest in a set. And so I've got my clubs, and I paid for like the 10 sessions of the group golf lessons. I show up and I'm easily 2.5 feet taller than everybody in this course. It's for kids. And so, I got a kick out of that.
That's funny.
And all these kids were just, champions.
Yeah.
Just crushing it.
Sure, man. Those fucking little things, dude.
This instructor, I don't know the course pro. I'm sure it was one of them. But, he comes over and he takes my freebie clubs away from me, and he gives me this rubber club. I called it the limp dick club. You could just wobble.
Yep.
And I was only allowed to use that. for like 3 or 4 different sessions.
Can you imagine being a Marine? Give me your rifle. Here's a rubber gun. You know, the same shit.
Like,
right?
just, you are the worst thing that's ever come on a golf course. By the end of it, they did give me the most improved. That didn't mean that I was good.
No, that's right.
Okay,
that's right.
what?
Here's your sticker, little one.
You participated. You saw this through. You tried. And then later, you know, I threw back to Anthony at UCF, who went on Wall Street. He taught me how to network and how to get jobs and how to, you know, climb. And so once I networked into Lockheed Martin, then my networking is not done. Now I want to climb the ladder. I want to meet everyone in Lockheed Martin. So I'm networking and I'm meeting program directors and vice presidents and things. And I'm getting invited to go play golf. And I was like, hey guys, I appreciate the invite, but like, I'm here to buy the booze, make an occasional putt, and overall be comedic relief. So if you need anything more from me, this is my limit.
Yep.
And they're like, no, man, we love teaching. Come on out. So I'm going out. I'm pretty sure our first course was Dub Shred. And one of the guys brought me a whole set of clubs. My wife is tired of looking at these in the garage. I bought myself these fancy clubs last year, and here's your new golf clubs. Golf
Nice,
bag
bro.
and everything. And so I was like super grateful. And so I played with them a few times, you know, as much as we could. And I was like, man, y'all really don't work a lot, do you? So that was, you know, my real introduction. And then I left Lockheed. I go into sales, moved to Charleston. And Charleston's got some golf courses. So I would spend my weekends at the driving range, you know, eating $2 hot dogs and, you know, like $3 for a bucket of balls. And so that was just a fun time to go out there in the evenings, certain times of the year, and get better at it. And then as I was building sales relationships and customers, I took them to all the golf tournaments, and we do our scramble tournaments, and they would enjoy that. But again, I had the same 3 rules. Putt, drinks, comedic relief. And so that's kind of like, that's where I've kind of plateaued.
Awesome.
And gotten the medical device sales, and a lot of those guys like to play golf. I mean, orthopedic surgeons typically don't mess around with anything that they do. If they decide on a hobby, like, they go all out on that hobby. So, I mean, they're playing at like legendary golf courses all over the world, you know, that they've like reserved tee times for 6 months in advance and things. But whenever there was a local opportunity, I would get to tag along or do something like a fundraiser with them.
Good shit.
And so it definitely kept me, you know, I guess on a micro level in tuned with, you know, what's going on. I got to go to Puerto Vallarta in 2023 or 2022, and there's the PGA Tour down there. So I went to that tournament.
Wow.
At the course in Puerto Vallarta, and that was my first like PGA experience.
Yeah, right.
That was so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, good shit, dude. So with that said, then let's get into your fuck quickie 5 quick questions. You know, on my podcast, I love to have a quickie with everybody.
Yeah.
No better way to do it so that we can get right into coastal primary care and wellness. All right, brother, you ready for a quickie?
Throw it at me.
How many practice swings?
Unlimited.
Your favorite shot or club?
7 hybrid.
Music or no music?
Music.
When you're putting, do you dissect the green or do you just go up and putt?
People want to do that for me. I tend to attract people's help.
Okay, no worries at all.
Hey, Dan, what you want to do? Let me slow this.
Don't
so what
get
we're
me
looking at
started.
here is... Okay,
okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Last one, driver or passenger?
Usually passenger.
Passenger princess. Nothing wrong with that. Like you said,
I
you
guess
buy the booze,
you
want a good time and have a laugh. You don't want to.
Usually I'm like a guest at the course. Someone else
Gotcha.
already, so they're like, hey, you know, scoot over, rookie, I'm driving.
Yeah, I got you, dragon. No, I like
you
it.
Gotta, I feel like you have to earn that. Like if you're a police officer, you know, you got to earn to drive the car.
That's
I'm not
right.
Sure.
I like that,
But,
Matt. No, I like that shit.
So far, everyone's been like, you know, nope, I'm driving. You sit over there, and you know.
When I take you out here, I'll be driving. Exactly. It's not a
Maybe
control
it's like
thing.
a hosting thing.
It possibly could be. Absolutely. You don't know where you're going. You just want to sit there and relax. Let's play some golf, whatever like that. So yeah, I would love to, Dan, take you out here. Again, it's only about 2 miles away. Because as folks, we're here at a Lowe's parking lot. Let me throw that out there.
Found the shade tree.
Exactly. All right, brother. So this is great. So let's get right into what you do. And the way how I'm going to tie this all in here, I'm going to throw it here like this, right? Folks, you guys know how golf is expensive. Golf is expensive when it comes to clubs, wherever, venues, shoot, whatever it is, right? And you need to find a way to save some money. You're going to save some money at buy one, get one at Publix, or maybe on a bigger expense, healthcare. So why not switch to a or have a coastal primary care and wellness plan where we can save a shitload of money to invest in golf. And that's what you, in a way, have done, to where you got tired of the traditional way of spending so much money on medicine, treatments, and so forth like that. You went ahead and started your own thing. Being the fact that you already had a little background in medical sales, you know, everything, equipment, everything like that, what possessed you to start your own program for others to be able to save money? And it doesn't just affect the civilians, it's also veterans as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how was the segue?
That you teed it up.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
That was a perfect.
I appreciate it, brother. I've done it for a little bit.
Man. So, you know, I'm coming out of Marine Corps and I'm going to the VA, and, you know, you see your primary care every 6 months, and, you know, they're drawing some blood and you get your test results back, and I'm being told everything's normal. Everything's good, man. You know, my consults might be about 7 minutes. We might be asking if I'm suicidal for 4 minutes. So maybe I get 3 clinical minutes with my VA provider, and he's seeing between 50 and 60 consults a day, right? I mean, this person's busy. It's not his fault, her fault. But everything's being told normal. The problem was I didn't feel good. I knew something was off. And so I kept asking questions. And, you know, finally, as I'm going through my personal transition into it, so there's a personal side to this, but the, you know, pressure with school and working and all that stuff, buying houses, new cities, relationships, all trying to figure out, you know, as a civilian now. And so I started having some like anxiety from time to time. And so I call the VA finally, and I go, hey, obviously my transition is not working. You're always saying to call. I'm calling. What do you got? And they said, great. We got you down right here. Can you come in 6 months? This is the crisis line, right? It's midnight. I called the right number. No. Yeah. You're on the right number. Don't worry. Yeah. So we got you down. We'll see you in 6 months. Now the VA is not like that anymore. But this was 2013. You know, I'd been out for a couple of years. It takes a couple of years, and then from what I have observed, about 2 to 3 years, and then it all catches up to you. And I came back from Afghanistan in April, and I was out of the Marine Corps in July. So there really was not like a transition. It was come back in, do a 30-day leave, April to May, May to June, turn in all your SIF in, and I think, yeah, I was out like, maybe I was even out in June. And so wasn't really any screenings at that time. Now, 2 years later, 3 years later, all right, I'm starting to struggle. I call the VA. 6 months later, I get in there, and I take a paper test. And the test adds up all your score, right, at the bottom. And it's asking you questions about how you're feeling. And so my score comes back, and it says severe anxiety, severe depression, and PTSD. And I wasn't surprised, because, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You can be in denial with your friends and family, but you know.
Yeah.
And so the VA's response was, well, go pick up your prescription at the pharmacy, and the psychiatrist will see you in 4 months. And I was like, that's not what I waited 6 months for that. I thought we had like programs. I wanted to get into a program. I'm ready to like do the work, whatever that's going to take. And they go, no, this is the process. You have to follow the process. So 4 months later, I'm in front of the psychiatrist, and she's yelling at me because I never picked up my meds. I'm like, I'm not really wanting to go that route. You know, isn't there a psychologist or something we could do differently instead? And so finally she agrees to send me off campus to a psychologist in the community care network and do PTSD exposure therapy. And that was awesome. Totally awesome. If you're thinking about it, check that box, go ask questions, get into that program. It's 13 weeks and it is so cool. So, all right, PTSD is gone, scratch off the list. Now I'm hooking and jabbing. I got my big boy job. I'm at Lockheed. I bought the new house, got the new girlfriend. Stressors are back again. All like the wins in life are bringing in more stressors, you know? And it's like, something's happening. Every time I go to the VA, no, you're great. Everything's good. You look great. Your labs you're normal. So finally, after a few more of the job changes and years later, someone comes to me and they go, have you ever had like real lab work done? I think so. The VA takes a lot of blood, like every 6 months, just pumping it out of there.
I'm doing too, but you go ahead, yeah.
And they go, no, I mean like extensive labs. I go, well, I don't know what that means. So I get a list and I call the VA and they go, well, no, we don't typically check that, but we will this time. and I was really looking for my hormone levels. And so after my consultation with a ortho surgeon, so the VA calls back, and what do you think they said? You're normal. Everything's good.
Oh yeah.
Surprise. And I go, well, what's my number? You know, they go, well, the range is 1,000 to 300 for testosterone. And so if you're not below 300, we're not really putting our hands on you. You know, like that's acceptable. So, but what is mine? You're 411. Again, I'm really bad at math. But if this was linear, right? Midlife, we'll call 45,000 to 300, maybe 750 here in the middle, 700. I should be at least that. I'm 34 years old at that point. You know, so I call up ortho surgeons again. I'm like, what would you do? And they're like, well, I'll tell you what I already do. I would get on testosterone replacement therapy right now because 411 sucks. And so I went that route, and I'm still doing 8 flights a week, 3 to 4 cities, breakfast, lunch, and dinner meetings every single day. So nothing about my schedule or like my routine changed. But after 8 weeks of being on testosterone, it was like all of a sudden my mind went quiet. I was locked in. I was sleeping like a baby. Everything got so much better. Work got better. Meetings got better. Relationships, not that I really had too many dating opportunities then, but just communication, driving in traffic. I wasn't, you know, it was so much better. First thing I do is call all my veteran buddies. You guys gotta go get this blood work done. Like, you're talking to me about, you know, your triggers and what's going on with you. And like we did, we had a crap deployment in Afghanistan. It was crap. So we're all trying to, you know, move on. And I was like, you're not willing to go to the exposure therapy. You could at least mitigate what's going on with your symptoms by getting these imbalances addressed. I had a major imbalance. Once I fixed my hormone imbalance, I was running like a top then, you know, which if I'm going back to cars, like that's what I needed. And, you know, it's like running with dirty old spark plugs, you know, like 40% performance, you know, that's not cool. So anyways, my veteran buddies called back. First of all, one of them was like, this is the weirdest thing you've ever said to me. We've had a lot of strange conversations, right?
Oh, there we got some weird ones.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to put that in that? I'm like, why would I that type of shit?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, lab work. And I go, trust me, dude, go get these done and call me back with your results. And one of them called back and he goes, do you know how expensive that is? I didn't really think about that because I mean, I had a good job. Yeah. But it hit me hard. I go, what's the really like rate for these therapies out in town? Your insurance isn't going to cover it.
Yep.
Systemic healthcare waits for things to break. They're about disease management. So until we have some kind of diagnosable DX code of a disease or a condition that's bad enough to warrant now therapy, but there's no prevention side. You want prevention, you got to pay cash.
That's out of pocket.
And so for me, like, you got to be below 300. And now I meet these veterans today that were below 300, and the VA did put them on testosterone. But it's kind of a crapshoot. It's hit or miss. But so many were only put on testosterone enough to get their score to 350, 400. They're not going back to what we were calling optimal. And so
at a particular age, whatever that may be. Yeah.
And, you know, for me personally, you know, I feel the best when I'm between 1,000 and maybe 750. You know, that to me would be ideal for most guys my age. You know, and this is not a cookie cutter thing that we're talking about healthcare, right? So everyone's protocol is different. But for me, very far from 411 is where I feel the best at. And is what's healthy for me. So, okay, now I'm running into, there's a cost barrier to this for not just veterans, but everyone. Everyone that is aware and informed of what could benefit them, they have to go through this cost barrier. I'm looking around and I'm hearing guys paying $100 a week for TRT, you know, or $50 a week just for TRT by itself. And these nurse practitioners, physician assistants, MDs, these men's health clinics, they are crushing it. They are crushing it. There's a reason how you can be a franchise and pay a huge bulk of your profit margin to your corporation and still ball out.
Yeah.
It's because these margins. And so that was the first thing. It was a personal mission because I wanted to help my veteran buddies. But then it became like, the more I looked into this, and I'm fighting insurance constantly on the medical device side in my day-to-day job. Insurance denying this patient's device. And our device had shown that it could eliminate anyone taking opioids for orthopedic recoveries, joint replacement, sport injuries, tissue repair or tendon repair. I had a lady, she busted her knee in 5 pieces, her kneecaps in 5 pieces.
Damn.
Slipped and fell mopping in the kitchen.
Damn.
And she never took one opioid the entire time she was on our device. She lived in it for like 3 months. And it's doing pain management, it's doing compression, it's doing blood clot prevention, all 3 therapies. This is a pretty cool device, right? But you know what's to the insurance company even cooler? Yeah, an opioid costs a few cents. This device costs more. And so at the end of the day, I developed an allergic reaction to insurance. I became allergic to it. I couldn't stand it. And I'm grateful. And look, I go to the VA for certain things too. Like, I utilize the VA. I'm not here to talk bad about the VA. This is systemic healthcare overall is what I'm focusing on.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I have the VA because look, people are paying $1,200. My uncle pays $1,800 a month.
Is that fucking crazy?
For
I
insurance.
know. It's nuts.
And he's diabetic and they won't cover his GLP-1.
No shit.
He can't even get his GLP-1 covered. So now, like, of course, I'm introducing him to better insurance brokers. Like, let's go hunt for a better plan for you. But and I have another neighbor that's diabetic. His plan will pay for his GLP-1, but his out of pocket is like $600 for the vial. So maybe he pays like 50% of the cost of his name brand vial. And so he will do that until he hits his annual deductible each year, and then he'll switch to me. And then he'll get his medications from me. His medication's like $200.
Wow.
So the insurance game, we could talk about it forever.
Of course, yeah.
Eventually it led me to, I'm talking with the ortho surgeons, and concierge care is coming back. Cash pay medicine is rebounding. Because, I was shocked to find that a joint fellowship trained ortho surgeon gets paid around between $1,100 and $1,200 for a knee replacement. That's it. He's spending like 2-3 hours in there banging on that patient. And the anesthesiologist in the room makes more money than him. So of course, ortho's trying to go figure out, what their cash pay level is right now. It's just the industry trend in healthcare for anything. When I think of concierge medicine, I think of like the Old West, where the doctor walks through the dirt road in the middle of town and he knocks on someone's door and delivers the baby, or fixes the gunshot wound in those movies. And so I wanted to bring that back, but make it for everybody.
And that's what coastal primary care and wellness is. It's like a concierge of healthcare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and unless you're a med device rep, not too many doctors are giving you their cell phone number. As a patient, has a doctor ever given you their cell phone number and been like, hey, here's my number, save it in your phone and text me tomorrow?
He doesn't want me to call him. I know my doctor very well. He's an awesome old retired Ranger colonel. He doesn't want
sounds like a good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. He don't want to.
If he's got, if he's got 1,000 patients, he's not giving his phone number out to all of them, right?
Especially to me.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I saw this on the internet. What do you think about that?
Doc, what's up with my penis? Oh, just kidding. I'm kidding.
It burns.
Yeah, exactly.
So, when it comes down to it, I looked at the census and what are people paying on average in Tampa for some type of concierge, direct access to a provider's cell phone number. And I found plans that were, maybe if you are a college student, you could get a plan for around $4,000 a year. But for most adults, average, those plans were between, typically around like $7,000 was the average plan. And then now if you want more appointments, or if you need something else, then there's still like a copay side to this, right? You got to pay for the activity too. The $7,000 is just like getting you on the roster. And look, like those models have been around forever. They work great, but there's a certain affluent class that it's tailored for. And when we look at things like med spas, right, who are predominantly known for doing cash pay medical therapies, they're not making it accessible either, right? So we look at like things like hormone replacement and testosterone, or especially for women's hormones. I mean, I met a couple and they were charged $1,700 for 3 months of hormones for the both of them at a local place here. And I looked at him and I go, well, testosterone for you is $52 for 10 weeks at max dose. So that would be worst case financial scenario.
No shit.
$52, 10 weeks. And her testosterone and her estrogen is about $70 for 6 months worth.
Wow. Holy shit.
So what'd you buy? And so this is the hidden markups, because it's not just that one clinic. It's
everywhere.
Industry standard of healthcare on the cash pay side of prevention. And so now we're getting things like PRP. You know, we're golfing, we got achy backs, hips, shoulders. Yeah. We're hearing about peptide injections.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Like, what do I want to start on? I have all this information coming in now. It's all cash pay. What's real? How much should I be paying for these things?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of noise out there. And I created, to my knowledge, it's the only wholesale labs and medications clinic in the state of Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina.
No shit.
So we do not make a dollar on any therapies, there's no margin on medications at all. And I'm talking about like compounded medications, which is what everyone's marking up. And the same with labs. So before I could even open my doors, a barrier to entry to any clinic is we got to get the lab work done first. Don't you want to know like where we should start at? Instead of just saying, okay, well, we did the bare minimum and you meet those normal ranges. We're looking at labs and going, well, we have a very minute optimum range inside this broad normal range. We want to see you here. And we don't want to just run these 6 things. We want to run these 20 things, these 30 things, you know, and then based on those results and your symptoms, we can then choose to order more tests or plan a route at that point. Well, you got to make the testing affordable, because we all know, like, you know, my minimal lab panel that I can use insurance for, including TRICARE, it will run for a female about $3,400 claim for her TRICARE for our basic, and our guy panel is like $2,800 for insurance. And that same panel for cash pay for the female is $131.
No shit.
And for the male is $114. We don't make any more. So I battle lab companies. I get my price down, and then I offer my price to patients. Now we get more access in. Now more people can run tests. I had a husband and wife come to me and they go, well, we really are into functional medicine. And so we're wanting to do some root cause analysis. We're not just trying to address symptoms. We found this functional medicine clinic down the road and they want to do labs for us. The lab panel is $350. And then for them to review the lab panel is $350 per person. So they were going to spend $1,400 on labs. I said, if you don't mind, ask them for the lab panel and let's compare it to what I have. And maybe we can compare it to my minimum lab panel and look at apples to apples. So we had more tests on my minimum lab panel, and we don't charge anything to review with anybody. So they saved $1,140 for more tests, and they got a 45-minute free lab review before they ever even made a commitment to sign up for the clinic to go further.
So let me ask you this then. So a couple of questions that I have. So let's just say, for example, I have TRICARE, right? But I know there's certain things that TRICARE will not cover, right? So would that be then like I could use something like with you guys, like, okay, I know, let's say, for example, like acupuncture or whatever, chiropractor or anything like that, or maybe I need to get more Botox injections, whatever it may be. Whatever, because I was actually, well, kid you not, I was getting Botox injections for migraines from the VA, and I stopped because of the pandemic, but then I stopped. I don't want it anymore. I don't want that shit in my head. But regardless, what I'm saying is like, so if there's something that's not covered, if I went through you guys have a plan or something that I can get with on, that I pay, what, a monthly fee, and then, okay, if there's something else, like how would you describe that, for an example?
Yeah, so I have 2 plans. The first one is weight loss, because everyone's interested in weight loss, right? So my weight loss plan is only $50 a month.
Okay.
That's the only money that the whole practice makes. So the practice actually doesn't make any money at all
Okay.
on weight loss. That's just to pay the provider to see the patient.
Okay.
And then they pay for their medication on top of that $50, but their medication's my cost.
It's at your whole, exactly. Okay.
So for me, like we talked about Ozempic, right? Everyone knows that. So Ozempic is called semaglutide, and Ozempic is the name brand of semaglutide. Well, semaglutide is about $90 for a 2-month supply.
Holy shit.
So if you pay your $50 a month and you buy a $90 vial,
versus,
I just made weight loss $95 a month versus $600 a month everywhere
Exactly.
else. That's the markups. And
Gotcha.
so now we're going to run your labs and we're going to say, hey, this GLP-1, you've got inflammation and it can certainly help with the inflammation. It can help. You've got some insulin resistance coming in here. We're looking at metabolic panels. But your testosterone could be better. Or, hey, your thyroid's not, converting like we want to see it. Again, we have those optimal ranges that we want to see the numbers in. So if you came under our primary care plan, and don't let the name, throw you off, you could still have your primary care provider at the VA. We're not here to totally replace anybody. We're just saying that we call this the plan that's everything under the sun that my clinic does. And for veterans, including spouses, it's $125 a month for unlimited access. If you have a UTI on Monday, upper respiratory infection on Tuesday, we're going to do lab review on Wednesday, we're going to do a refill on Thursday, it's $125 a month.
So real quick, so how does that work then? Do I go see one of your doctors then? And that's where I'm kind of confused.
So this whole thing is virtual. It's telemedicine.
Gotcha.
So you get their cell phone number and you can text or call them as much as you want Monday through Friday.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Awesome.
So it's like, hey, I woke up and my throat hurts, my ears hurt when I swallow, I think I'm dying, I see the light in the tunnel, man flu is in, send help. And they're going to be like, go to your pharmacy, your care package is waiting for you.
No shit, bro.
Yeah.
I good example. I jacked up my eye, touched something, whatever, here at work when I was cutting cups and everything like that, the pin. And something happened in my eye where I could not open it. It was watering, all of that shit.
Yeah.
So I had to go, obviously, I know something's fucked up. I know I probably got to get some antibiotics.
Yep.
So instead of I know there's something wrong with my eye, but instead of going to urgent care, I could have probably called you guys, called the number.
Yeah, they could have advised you, and if it's something that, well, you need to go get your eye looked at under a microscope or something, maybe you have a scratch
of
there,
course.
Then they can refer you, but they're going to save you that copay of going unnecessarily too. So yeah,
no shit, bro.
It's really great because instead of paying $50 a month just for your testosterone, I made testosterone $5 a week. And this plan allows you not just testosterone, but you get complete concierge care with it. And you get access to all of what we're doing at wholesale. So, let's just throw things out there like Cialis, peptides, inflammation, longevity mark, anything that we're, focusing on. So, like I said, you've got that achy shoulder, that's, you re-aggravated from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Your recovery's off. You're wanting to, you're seeing the ball's not going as far as it used to, or the weight's coming on. We can take care of all of that for you. And it's just a month-to-month thing. There's no contracts. You're not locked into anything.
No shit.
And you get everything at our cost. So I have an Excel spreadsheet where I track the annual cost savings of each patient that comes in with significant stories. And so, I'm cutting people's costs in half that are already on these therapies.
No shit, bro.
Easily in half. Easily.
No shit.
And most time we're using the same pharmacies. So like a lady calls me and she's like, I have a 1 ml vial of terzepatide, which is like Monjorno.
Yeah.
And I paid $390 for this vial. And can you save me money? And I said, send me a picture of your vial. And sure enough, I'm with that exact same pharmacy. And I go, well, you're gonna be a little upset for a second. So sit down, but you're on a 5 milligram per milliliter. We can do a 20 milligram per milliliter and a 2 ml vial. Now, instead of getting 3 weeks out of your vial, this vial is going to last you 3 months.
No shit.
And the cost is $280.
On top of whatever they pay for their monthly thing. But
yeah,
you're selling to them at wholesale what you're.
So she was paying like $390 for this tiny vial that lasted 3 weeks. And I got her into a vial that lasts 3 months for $280.
No shit, man. That
so
is
now if
awesome.
you break that out in Excel, you see the annual cost savings, right?
Of course.
And so, I mean, just this model seems common sense to me.
Yeah.
That I don't think clinical decisions should be tied to margin. I don't think that there should be, value in what we're prescribing. I think that the value needs to be on the care side, right?
Of course.
Look, for me to hire licensed professionals, and I'm not one,
Yeah.
I got to make sure that I'm hiring the best, right? How do I know if someone is really about their game or not when I'm interviewing? So I created a clinical simulator. When mid-levels apply for my clinic, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, they've got years of hormone replacement, GLP-1, peptides, functional medicine on the resume. Awesome. Let's do the simulator. And my simulator has weeded out 96% of all applicants.
No shit.
So the ones that are coming in here, not only are you getting direct access to a provider, but I mean, I am very proud of the team that has come on board, that is passionate about giving this kind of level of care,
Of course,
to everybody.
because it's so damn expensive. You talked about it briefly earlier, and how like it just reminded me of like my friends. So I'm blessed, got the whole disability, 100%, TRICARE Prime, all that stuff's covered. I pay $170 a quarter.
That's awesome.
Where I got buddies
Yeah.
with families that are spending so much more, but they may not even use the service.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that fucking is retarded, is like you spend so much money, almost like car insurance, that you're never going to use it. Or
when you want to use it, you're told no.
yeah.
Or you
Then
got
the insurance
deductibles
process,
in place.
exactly. But there's no deductibles, nothing like this. Or with you guys, dude, that is awesome, bro.
So
Dude.
we're, as when you're playing golf, especially, like, you're exposed to a lot of oxidative stress.
Oh, of course.
You've got UV, you've got fertilizers, you've got probably a lot of alcohol, dehydration. Your recovery is less than optimal. Maybe the belly's getting a little bigger. These are all things that like you're putting your body through every weekend.
Yeah.
But you're out there like giving it your all too. And people come to us and they're like, well, I don't want to just do a GLP-1 and that's cheating. And it's like, no, there's actual like physiological cases that this is 100% necessary to get your insulin resistance back into place. You could be eating lettuce every day, but if your insulin resistance is out of control, then you're still going to, continue to not see the results that you want.
Yeah.
So we can dial that back in. It's not just cheating. This is why we're doing labs, to make sure it's someone's eligible for it. But ultimately, yeah, we're wanting to turn their game around, whether it's golf or just, feeling better,
Yeah, man.
working better, everything,
So you don't have like an ideal demographic. You can deal with anybody.
This makes it available for anybody.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm trying to, when I launched it, I was thinking, our underserved communities had the highest rate of comorbidities. They probably could use GLP-1s more than anybody. And yet, yeah, they're not going to go out and pay $600 a month.
No.
If I make it $90 a month, maybe now that's attainable.
No
And
shit.
if we get
man.
someone to get healthier, feel better, now their confidence goes up. Now they go on for that promotion at their job they've been postponing, and it's going to help them elevate in so many other ways, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, of course. No, I agree, man. The thing that I love about your website, and I know we talked about earlier that there's going to be some little bit of changes, new website and everything like that. But even now, so something that I noticed too, that I even brought it up to my wife, is like, with HRT, for, like you said, for men and for women. I mean, the fact that you guys cover that.
Yeah, for women, I got into this thinking I was going to help the guys with testosterone. That was like, the plan. And then people were like, well, do you do women too? I go, oh, of course. Yeah, we help a lot of women. Well, can you come talk to us over here? So I get invited to a women's veterans networking group.
No shit.
And I'm in the parking lot and I'm just getting looks like mean mugging, like, what's this man doing here? And why is he with our women's only group? I text my friend. I was like, Ashley, you got to bring me in. I need an escort, So she brings me in. And she's like, hey, everyone, this is Dan. He's only here for 10 minutes and then he's going to leave so that we can have the rest of our time together. But he's just wanted to let you know that this is available. And I was there for 2 hours.
No shit.
My
Awesome.
heart breaks for women because you know, us guys, we do have the men's health franchise at every corner, right? We have some pretty easy access, but for women, it's become very controversial. In 2006, there was a healthcare study that came out by the Women's Health Institute that completely ruined a lot of women's healthcare narrative. There's an entire generation of women that were completely skipped over these benefits of these therapies because all of a sudden it was told, no, this is risky now. No, we don't do this anymore. And so now there's, you know, so many providers that were either trained or mentored or did residence under that era that are seeing patients. And the phone call that I get every week is, I feel horrible. I'm waking up covered in sweat 4 times a night. I'm gaining weight, and yet I'm working out 6 days a week. My kid just asked me why I'm fat, and now I want to kill my kid. And I feel awful. I asked my OBGYN if they do HRT, and she said no. She just gave me an estrogen patch, but she didn't run any labs. So now instead of waking up 4 times a night, I wake up sweating 2 times a night, but I still feel awful. I go to my primary care. My primary care says, no, your insurance won't cover those labs. No, we don't do that. So where do I go? Because everywhere that I'm going to, it's in my network, is telling me no.
Yeah.
The only resources that are mainstream for them that they know to go to are the Desperate Housewife Country Club med spas. And that's the Silicon Valley prices, which isn't for everybody.
Yeah, no.
So making this to where, okay, every appointment that we're doing is 30 minutes to 45 minutes with an appointment. You're never going to have that 7-minute appointment where 3 of those are clinical minutes. You know, that's not us. This is where we do lots of education on, okay, let's answer your concerns. Do hormones cause cancer? People are still under this narrative that they do. And so we have to, you know, correct that and say, well, if that were true, we all would have gotten cancer at puberty.
Good point. Very good point.
But right, like our bodies process hormones, and if we're putting hormones in, we have to make sure that our body's processing and getting the hormones out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you are on your game with those protocols,
yeah,
and you are consistently, which is why we are direct access, you are touching base with that patient, you know, multiple times a month for side effects, symptoms. We're doing recurring labs on a preset schedule, 6th week, 12th week, you know, next 12th week. Well, and then anything in the middle based on symptoms, side effects, so that it's all about prevention. The whole name of this game is prevention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because you'd save, I mean, you invest a little bit into yourself at such a low cost that you guys provide versus then 5 years down the road, I shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Now it's costing you a shitload of money just to get back. Right? I mean, it's what you're doing is you're cutting that off, doing it now versus.
I was talking to a lady on Thursday, and she's like, I'm trying to golf, you know, they're just building a house in Rosemary Beach, you know, and there's some golf courses out there. And she's like, I'm golfing, I'm trying to do the tennis. And she goes, but, you know, I think I need something. I just don't feel like I'm not able to keep up anymore. And I said, one of the things I said to her was, well, you know, at your age, women are typically told they need to go get a bone density scan. And then the results come back and they're told, oh, surprise, you need a bone density medication. But we're not told why we lost bone density. And we all know estrogen as a fertility hormone, but are we all familiar that it's majorly responsible for bone maintenance? So when you're going to perimenopause and your estrogen drops, your bone density drops. Guess what else estrogen is responsible for? Joints, for men and women. And she's like, oh, you're preaching to the choir now. Keep going. You know, she's like, I have the worst joint pain. I was like, we need to check your estrogen. This is not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. It's not that you have to put your head down and bear through it anymore. You know, you're trying to live the active lifestyle that we're told as, you know, as we're aging to continue to stay out there and live. But if our body's working against us, we got to get things back in line.
Dude, I told you this even before, like I don't do a lot of like deep dives into guests and everything like that. And after this whole long, amazing conversation, I'm anxious to dive deep into it, and for my family, for myself, and for my boys. You know what I mean?
Great.
I mean, 100% the fact that it's expensive. You know what I mean? It really is. And the fact that what you're doing with the helping with preventive or even just easy access on a timely manner, not waiting months, not waiting weeks. Because I mean, I still go through the VA system here. it's great compared to what I mean, I've gotten a little bit better. I know I've gotten better care being out than when I was in. Of course, you got out before me, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
the timeline the VA has, night and day difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's spot on. They're getting you in now.
Oh, I remember I tore this.
You can be a walk-in urgent care now and they'll see you.
Brother, I tore my bicep lifting, and then 3 days later I was in surgery, which is rare.
That's awesome.
Which is rare. You know what I mean? But regardless of that.
But if it's not something that's broken, then
correct.
It's not going to get the preventative measures that you're looking for.
Exactly. I keep reading a lot about this whole testosterone stuff for the men. I'm 45, turning 46. I'm still very active. I can still do the Filipino squat when I cut the cups. But what I'm getting is like, I know I'm probably should get, I've never been tested for it. I've never, see what I'm saying? That's why I'm so excited.
Learn so much about
brother, that's
yourself.
what I can't wait for. And the best part is, just like how you have those phone numbers in your, all the surgeons, I've got Dan Hughes' phone number on my phone. So with that said, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on or something that I might have missed that you wanted to bring up about coastal primary care and wellness?
I mean, no, if, our website's out there.
Of course, yeah, I'll put all that information, but if there's anything else.
I just I like to have personal connections with everybody that comes into the clinic and schedules a consult. So even if you're just on the edge and you're not ready to schedule the consult yet, which is, is the free 45-minute lab review that we want to offer you, blow my phone up. Ask me questions. Let me see if I can answer your questions before you even carve the time out to go get the blood work done and
of course.
To let us review it.
Of course.
And I encourage everyone, just call me. We're very available to discuss things. And, if you're on something right now and you're like, well, can you help me with this? Or how much would the cost be if I were to come in? I'm a nerd in Excel, so I build these tables to show.
Pivot tables and everything. I know about it.
Okay, you're spending $780 a year on, what was it? There was a guy that was on testosterone and an estrogen blocker and fertility supplement, all three, and he switched to us, and it saved him $780 a year for the exact same therapy and meds. And so then he was like, so can I do weight loss now? Or so he chose to reinvest back into a GLP-1. But to your point earlier, that might be $780 for that new golf bag you're looking for, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's a good segue, brother. That's a perfect segue. That's awesome. And that's a good point. Is like you out in the golf course, as we all know, here in Florida, everything gets hot. A lot of golfers, we're older. I've got some shoulder issues from the military, and then you know what I'm saying. And so to be able to cut the costs on those type of care that we need, something like what you guys offer is ideal. And again, not even just for golf, folks. This doesn't have to be for golf. It can be for anything. Preventive care, like you talked about earlier. Preventive care is. Why do you think I've been up since 4 o'clock? Went to the gym at 5:30. I know I got to do some preventive care within my own means. Yeah. But if I need a little bit extra help, I have a phone number now on my phone. I can call and get set up. So again, what's the website that people can go to? And then I'll put it down here on the bottom of the screen.
It's coastalprimarycare.com.
Easy peasy. Yep.
They can email me at info@coastalprimarycare.com.
Awesome.
They can call our clinic phone, which is 813-678-6063.
Roger that. I'll make sure I put it all right here on the screen.
Yeah.
Awesome shit, brother.
And they can even text that clinic phone too.
Okay.
Hey, name's Dan. Saw the podcast.
Awesome.
What the heck? I have questions.
Awesome.
Fact check me.
That's it, brother.
But yeah,
I love it.
We just enjoy talking with people. And, I mentioned a little bit about peptides, and that's really coming up as a popular topic.
For recovery, yeah.
We're hearing about BPC, TB500, Wolverine stacks, GHKCU, KPV, all types of peptides for tissue regeneration, inflammation. So, I can nerd out on that all day long. There's a lot of, misinformation or just bulk information out there. And there's a lot of companies that are selling research-only peptides, that's easy to buy online. And then you're trying to find your ChatGPT protocol for yourself, So if you want to eliminate all the guesswork, if you want a clinical grade peptide that's coming from a pharmacy, it's never going to say lab mice on the side of it. It's not meant for monkeys. It is meant for humans. That's what we're here for.
Awesome.
We will educate you.
I love it, brother. Awesome. I'll make sure I put down all this information right here on the screen. So before I let you go, all my guests that come on the podcast, I like to give a little gift, just something very small. So all my guests get a ball divot tool, ball marker tool. Yep, just something a little simple. But all my guests on the podcast are now fuck buddies. Again, it's your friendly unabashed cup cutter. Here's a ball marker, sir, with your fuck buddy, your fuck golf podcast
This
on there.
is like
That's a
the
ball
new
marker.
challenge coin.
Yeah, you can't be, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know it. That's a real ball marker. Absolutely.
This is very cool. Thank you.
Oh, of course, brother. Absolutely. But Dan, I greatly appreciate you being on the podcast, sir, sharing all this information. Folks, again, please look into his website. Look what you could, the cost savings for HRT for yourself, for your spouse, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? If you want to get weight loss, or if you need to call somebody right now because you injured yourself, or maybe you just want to save some money so you can buy new clubs, go play some golf and buy some golf balls. But brother, again, last time, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Folks.
Thank you all for listening.
Awesome. Absolutely. Folks, so this has been your friendly unabashed cup cutter. Don't be shy. Come say hi. Bro, awesome, dude. That's what it's about.
Your friendly